Now we have one more concept which is known as chunking. Okay, which is known as chunking. Now, sometimes when you do tokenization, right? When you do tokenization, for instance, this was my sentence. Okay, my name is Dr. Bright, and then when I did tokenization, I have my name is Dr. and then Bright, separated like that. Okay, if I have a word like something like say South. Okay, maybe let's write something like say the president. I'm just gonna write something. The president will be in South Africa next month. Okay, so let's say we have a sentence like this. All right, now if I run this one over here, you see that it's tokenizing everything, right? We have the president will be in South Africa and then Africa next month. Okay, however, South Africa is a country name, all right? It's a name of a country which is supposed to come as just one word. But if we have it like this, it means that South has its own meaning, right? We have North, South, East, and West. That's how it's going to mean. Africa is a continent, which is going to be a different thing altogether, okay? But together was just a country name, okay? So in some case, you wouldn't want to just tokenize each of the words, right? You wouldn't want to tokenize each of the words. You want to tokenize the words, but you want to tokenize it wisely, okay? So that words like South Africa will come at once, okay? If it is say South Korea, okay, right, South Korea should come as one. But if you do it like this, South is on its own, Korea is on its own, okay, which is not ideal. Right, which is not ideal, right? United States of America, if you use that one over here, right? United, right, States of America. Okay, now all of them is gonna be on their own. You see that United is on its own, State is on its own, Off is on its own, America is on its own, which is not ideal. But United States is just one country name that we want to use. Okay. So, I mean, that is basically a problem over there. So we have what is called chunking over there, which will help you to wisely separate your words instead of, tokenizing all of them, right, into individual words, right? So let's see how that goes. So I'm going to use, I have just this a sentence over here. I'm going to use what is called regular expression. Okay, regular expression. And if you don't know about regular expression, I've given you 2 links over here, which I want you to, spend about 15 minutes or 20 minutes about on that one. Get to understand what regular expression means before you continue. Okay, before you continue further. All right, because it's going to be very important in your career, even in natural language processing as a whole. You're going to need regular expression. So just spend 10 to 15 minutes reading about this regular expression before you move on to the rest of this, right? We have very few cells over here to go, right? But I'm going to use regular expression over here. This kind of expression is called regular expression. And in order to understand it well, just spend some time over here. I'm going to explain it to you, right? But I want you to get more out of it, okay? Because going forward, you're still going to need several different types of regular expressions over there. So just spend 10 to 15 minutes to understand it over here. All right. Okay, so if you have read about it and you're a bit familiar with it, let's move on. All right, so here I'm just importing the NLTK, and then I'm forming a sentence over here, which is the little yellow dog barked at the cat. Okay, that's just the sentence that I have. All right, now in order to do these kind of things, you need to first define a grammar. Okay, define your grammar using a regular expression. Okay, as I said, we need regular expression over here. Right. So if you have not read a little bit about it, just read about it. Although I'm going to explain it for you to understand it. But you're still going to need more than that, because in different scenarios, you need different regular expressions. Okay. All right. So over here, what we are doing is that we are forming a noun phrase. Okay. We are forming a noun phrase. And the noun phrase that we are forming, we are saying that it should start with a determinant, an optional determinant. So the question mark here is representing optional. Okay, so whatever is coming in between the these symbols over here, which is the greater than and the less than symbol, right? Whatever is coming in between here is optional. Okay, so DT represent determinant. You can go up here and then check it. Okay, dt, right? dt represent determiner, so it can start with the determiner. Okay, let's go all the way down. It can start with a determiner or not, it's optional. Okay, and then it can also start, or it can start with jj represent if you go all the way up here, right? So I want you to get, for it's representing adjective. Okay, so it can start with a determiner or adjective, right? Either of them is fine for us. Okay, either of them is fine for us, either dt, which is determiner, or adjective, right? And they are optional. Okay, these things are optional. And so this star here means end, right? And then it should end with a noun. Okay, and n represent a noun, right? If you see it over here, right? Noun, singular or mass, all right? So something like that, it should start with a determiner, or it should start with an adjective and end with a noun. That's what we are, I mean, that's the rule we are setting, right? And the rule is defined using this curly bracket. Okay, using this curly bracket. All right, so that's basically what we are doing over here. Okay, all right. So for example, we can have something like say there, right there, and then followed by a little. Okay, followed by a little. So this there is dt. Okay, it's a determiner. Okay, and then we have adjective. Okay, followed by say dog. Okay, followed by say dog, right? And then dog is a noun. Okay, that's the rule that we are setting. Okay, so it's an optional. We are saying that these things are optional. There is an optional, or the jj is an optional. Jj is nothing but adjective. So but it should have, right? So and this, so it should have a dog, right? It should have a noun, right? So something like this. So these ones are optional. You can add it or not. Okay, but we should have a dog over there. Okay, so we can have the little dog, or maybe just dog, something like that. Okay, that's the rule that we are setting over here. All right. Okay, so that's the rule that we are setting. So once we are done with that, then the next thing is to use the function called regex parser. Okay, regex parser is nothing but a regular expression. Okay, regular expression, just sorting, right? And then we have it as a parser, and then we pass in the grammar that we have set, or the rule that we have set. Okay, so this is the grammar rule that we have set. So we pass it in, and then we store everything in junk parser. So once we do that, then we need to now, whatever sentence that we have, right, we need to tokenize the sentence first. Once we tokenize the sentence, then we can use the part of speech tag to tag it. Okay, use the part of speech tag to tag it. Then once it is tagged, we have saved it in tagged. So let me just run that. Okay, so each of them, right, each of these ones have been tagged. The little yellow dog barked at the cat is being tagged. So there is dt, right? Little is jj, yellow is jj, dog is a noun. Okay, so the rule that we set, we say that we can pick there, right, which is dt, all right, and then little, or maybe the yellow dog or the little dog, something like that. Okay, but they are optional, right? But it should follow by nn, which is noun. Okay, if I change, let me actually finish. I will change this one for you to also see how it is, right? And then we have backed, right, which is vbd, and then we have at as in, and then we have there as dt, cat as nn. Okay, so you see that we have tagged each of these words respectively. Okay, once we do that, then we can now use the junk parser, right? The junk parser that we have created over here, which is containing the regex parser. Okay, which we have used, we have defined a rule inside. Now we can use that one to work on the tagged. Okay, on the tagged, which is these words that we have tagged. Okay, now once we do that, right, that is done. So we have stored everything in tree, right? I store it that way because I'm going to plot a tree for you to see. Okay, let me get rid of that one. Now here I'm going to draw that tree for you to see how the rule is actually affecting the sentence that we have tagged. Okay, so let me run this one. Okay, so it's going to just pop up, giving a new window over here, right? So if I open it, you can see that here we have s and then np and then np. Okay, so we have s here, which represent the sentence that we have. Okay, or the sentence that we have, that's a parent, and then we have now phrase and then now phrase over here. So you can see that it's starting with dt followed by jj and then another jj and then nn. Okay, so it can just ignore these dt, but it should end with nn. Okay, so here you can see that it's starting with dt but no jj, but it's ending with nn. Okay, so the cat. Okay, the cat is coming. We're starting with. It's forming as the cat. Okay, the cat, which is DT followed by NN. Okay, and then here you see DT followed by 2JJ and then NN, because they are optional. So we can have as many of them, or we can have none of them. So the little yellow dog, right? The little yellow dog. So that makes sense, instead of just junking there on its own, little on its own, yellow on its own, dog on its own. Okay, and even if you see here, we have backed at. Okay, so the little yellow dog backed at the cat. Okay, and that's how it has been junked for us. Okay, that's how it has been junked for us. All right, so that is junking for you, right? That is junking for you, and we have also seen the part of speech tagging. Okay, so we're going to do more of these as we move on, right? This is just an introduction for you to get to understand, right? And as I advise, spend some time to understand the regular expression as well, because we're going to see more of that in our upcoming tutorials or in our upcoming sessions. All right, so that is a demonstration of the part of speech tagging. As I said, we're going to do more of these in the upcoming sessions. All right, so have a nice day and stay safe.